What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more holiday music. And we're going to listen to one of my very favorite Christmas carols from one of my very favorite voices, which is to say that of Annie Lennox. I wanted to give a shout out to Kim for sending Christmas Cornucopia 2010. And I don't know for sure, but I suspect that it has also been available in the folder for Annie's solo material that Philip has made available for a long time, and I just haven't gotten to yet because we've been going through the Eurythmics catalog, and as well as some, in the very early days, some tourist stuff as well. Nevertheless, I'm looking forward to hearing her performance of The Holly and the Ivy. Again, I think it's just a very atmospheric Christmas tune. It makes me think about hearing, like, church choirs sing Christmas carols during the season when I was growing up, as well as, in some notable films, including a film that I'm riffing for this holiday season. Already have the riff recorded. But yeah, The Holly and the Ivy, again, it's just one of my favorite carols. Annie Lennox, absolutely love her voice, which I felt over the last few decades, going back to my youth, but I only knew it in such an isolated, very limited respect, like basically 2 or 3 tunes. And just what I've heard from the, again, in a limited respect, tourists, but also the Eurythmics material that I've listened to up until the end of Revenge, which is where I'm at, though I've also listened to Savage after that, has taken my appreciation for her vocal talents, her vocal audacity, and her vocal flair just to a whole nother level. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Annie. Curious to hear what she does with one of my favorite carols, the Croissant Cat. Luca is curious as well. Let's listen. This is Annie Lennox in her performance of The Holly and the Ivy from her 2010 album, Christmas Cornucopia.
The holly and the ivy, when they are both full grown, of all the trees that are in the wood, the holly bears the crown. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. Bears a blossom as white as lily flower, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ to be our sweet Savior. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. The holly bears as red as any blood, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ to do poor sinners good. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. The holly bears a prickle as sharp as any thorn, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ on Christmas Day in the morn. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. The holly bears a as bitter as any gall, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ for to redeem us all. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. The holly and the now both are full well grown, of all the trees that are in the wood, the holly bears the crown. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. Oh, the rising of the sun and
Doesn't matter the era or what she's doing, Annie's just incredible. She amazes me like all the time. But first of all, the production on that one, really cool, and like, you know, I went into it thinking more about her voice. And don't get me wrong, there's something to say about that, which I'll do in a moment, but the production like really stuck out to me. The way it shifted a couple times over the course of the track, and by the end it's flourishing with this like soul, like gospel kind of feel, but also some like deep heavy synths, some melodic synths that are not altogether, you know, dissimilar from something you might hear in an 80s synth pop tune near the beginning. And again, just a nice progression of sonic atmosphere, or atmospheres plural, over the course of the tune. Her voice, you know, I've heard her sing in more recent years. Like I remember seeing the YouTube video, I don't know, it was like a few years ago, but the YouTube video of her performing I Put a Spell on You, which, you know, it was not only, I think, a really cool performance of that, but I noticed that her voice, you know, it's deeper. It sounds different than it did in the 80s, which, you know, I'm going through all these different singers where I'm now hearing their work across multiple decades, and, you know, it is something that different voices change in different ways, but ultimately all the singers that, you know, have 30, 40-year career spans, you do hear change, and it's something that I'm now noticing more and more. So again, it's not the same Annie voice of the 80s, but I think it's still rich, it's still really fantastic, and it's like, because it has this heavier, like huskier sound to it, she's now like sonically closer to Alison Moyet than she used to be, it feels like. But again, I like the like really like big vocal flourishes, which in the beginning parts it sounded like it was Annie, you know, quintuple, like sextupled, like, you know, it was like 8 or 9 Annies in those vocal flourishes. But then at the end, when it got to that like gospel choir part, I was like, wait, are all those voices Annie? Or are there actually, you know, is there a choir on this that is backing her up? So I'm not sure about that. Again, at first it felt like it was all Annie's, because again, Eurythmics tunes, you know, how many have I heard where we get, you know, 4 or 5 Annies firing off like different parts or like sides of the tune all at the same time, and then, you know, the main one, the main vocal like right through the middle. So this kind of had that feel, at least in those flourishing moments, but like I said, when I got to the end I was suddenly second guessing that. So not sure if anybody knows, but either way, a really cool rendering of a carol that I'm already very fond of. So top marks to Annie, big shout out to Kim, big shout out to Philip, big shout out to all the people who share music with me. I do very much appreciate you. I'm mentioning this in an independent video, but just very quickly, the next few days I'll be finishing up the holiday material. I've like basically shot everything. Everything's just in the process where I have to like sound check things and so on, but again, I have the holiday riff coming, which is the thing that I've been really sort of focusing on, because it's something that I look forward to doing all year, and it finally got here and it's like, oh man, but it's an hour and 40 minutes, you know, like I really have to like work hard at it. So, but again, it's already shot, just have to sound edit it, a couple video game playthroughs, a couple more like music reactions. There's some other things that I'll probably get in the following week, you know, a couple of video reactions that people have asked for, the handful of band like album video like discussions or discussion videos that I've talked about, as well as the AHA like movie watch along. Those will all be like closer to New Year's. So either way, it's been very busy. I appreciate everyone's patience. I know it's been weird that I've sort of like, you know, put the regular reactions on hold for a couple weeks now, but by the time we get to Boxing Day, there should be a few regular reactions, and then the day after that is when we'll get back more or less to full you know, regular music reactions again, though even saying that, there will be a couple more special videos as the, you know, following week plays out. In any case, we will be very busy here on Acid Techno Street is the upshot of all that. Shout out to all the people who support not only the channel through, you know, sending me music and comments and so on, but the people who are on Patreon, which, you know, I mentioned a few people who are very much part of that community, and it really does mean a lot, and I'm trying still to figure out ways to, you know, put videos up there first for a few days before then making them public and putting them on YouTube, and doing some extra behind the scenes content that's just exclusively for the members. So I will continue to find ways to make it worth your while, I do promise, and I do appreciate it. So shout out to all of you. Have you noticed how Croissant Cat has not moved this entire video? She's just, you know, she's catatonic. I hate myself. I'll end the video now, but dude, let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Peace.